Good afternoon and welcome to day 18 of the 29-day love challenge. Um, Man, we had an awesome guest yesterday, and man, I hope you enjoyed her enthusiasm. My wife deals with that every single day at work.
Yes,
That's a good thing,
it's a good thing.
to have, is to have somebody who's not a cheerleader, but a motivator, right? And whenever I'm in a place, of course, I've always got my wife and family and stuff like that. But if I want to get a positive affirmation, right? If I want to get a faith affirmation, I call my man Hugo, and Hugo always got some affirmation, some quote, about to bring your spirits up, right? Yeah, this is really good. Day 18, we are beyond the halfway point, right? We're beyond the halfway point, and we're excited about it. I believe that there's a shift going on, right? There's a shift in the spirit, right? There's a shift in the atmosphere, right? There's a shift in culture, right? Going on right now. We maybe we can't see it, we can't sense it, but I believe it in my spirit that is happening right now, right? And I want to focus on a couple of things here. I want to go back, and I know that a lot of people are probably in church right now, so you'll get an opportunity to see this a little bit later. And you know, again, let me reiterate that back in January, when I was starting the new year, a friend of mine sent me a link to 31 days wisdom challenge, right? And I was like, maybe, yeah, that's, man, who wouldn't want to do 31 days of wisdom, right? To start off a whole new year, right? So I ended up logging in, registering, so forth and so on. And for 31 days, right, I went through the 31 chapters of Proverbs. And I got an opportunity to listen to so many wonderful people speak about the power of wisdom, right, and how it impacts your life, right, and that we should master wisdom. And I'm honest that I wasn't able to make it on 100% of the time, every single day, but I at least did 50%, right? And even in the 50%, I ended up, right, going back to the replay to get the other 50, to make sure that I got my 31 days in, and I shared it. So we are expressing the same opportunity here. You get to, number one, you get to watch it live on Lowe's More the Blueprint on Facebook and YouTube, right? And then you can go back, right? If you can't make it, like some people in church today or some doing your work day, maybe you don't get a chance to pause at lunchtime and come on at 12 to 12:30, right? You don't get an opportunity to do that, but you can go back and start from the beginning, right? And then catch up, or you can start from the beginning and create your own timeline for your 29 days love challenge. And I'm truly thankful,
Amen.
right? I'm truly thankful, man, for Joyce Myers and her book, The Love Revolution, right? So we're not only trying to shift the atmosphere, or change a paradigm, right? We're literally trying to start a love revolution, right? So there are all kind of revolutions going on today, right? But we want to start one that deals with love, right? Where we wake up every day with love on our mind, right? A day full of love every day, right? So and we in our humanity. So every day we wake up in this flesh, right? We wake up with our past experience, our current experience. We wake up every day, right? With in our human mind, our intellect, our experiences, right? Our five senses. We wake up every day. We don't always feel good, when we wake up every day. We always not thinking right when we wake up every day, right? So we have to look at the dial that we want to set every day, right? We want to set our dial every day on that, find that frequency of love every day. We got to shift it, whatever mindset we're in, however we feel. We want to turn that dial, right, until we find that sound called love, and that frequency and vibration
Yes.
that's called love, right? I
And
mean,
the thing, can I just add really quickly that you talked about the sound of love, right? And so sometimes people think that just means by saying I love you, right? But you actually create a frequency with your actions, right? And so your actions can create a sound with the frequency of love. And so, I'm grateful. We laugh because, you know we talked about sometimes random act of kindness can always be about strangers, but sometimes just doing it in your own family, means a lot. So,
mhm,
as
yeah,
many of you know that, as I lost my cousin Larry, and one of the things that we're doing as family is making sure that our aunt Joanne is okay. I mean, that means the world to us, to make sure that she's okay and that our cousin Mike is okay, because, cousin Peaches, but those two in particular, because they're really going through something. Mike lost his dad, he lost his wife, he lost his brother, all within a 2-year period of time. It is tremendous when you have that. So sometimes just sending a text message and telling them, a person, you love them. I remember when Mike's wife died and I did her eulogy, and this was like one of the funniest things that you do at a church I mean, at a funeral service. But his wife used to text him all the time, right? And she used to text him like emojis with all of these "I love you" signs, kisses. And one day, he and I were on a text with her, and she texted him, but I got it, and I sent her back. I said, "Well, honey, I love you too." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you were on that text message." But I got it. It happened multiple times. So what I did at the funeral when she passed away was I asked everybody to pull out their cell phones and to dial this number. So here's my cousin Mike. He's putting a number in, and he realizes eventually that it's his phone number. And all of a sudden, he does. He's not tech savvy, right? So all of a sudden, his phone is pinging. And I said, text that you as many emojis as you can, and let him know how much you love him. I said, because that's what he was used to getting from his wife. And all of a sudden, we're in the church service, and his phone is going ping, 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 and he's like, I don't know how to cut it off. I don't know how to cut it off. But, but it was just so random, and for that to come up for me, because sometimes when a family member that you love, passes away, everybody's there during the time that person dies, right up into the funeral, right? And then afterwards, sometimes you don't hear from those people anymore, and it's important to kind of stay connected and stay in touch with them. And so I've asked people to, continue to send text messages and send messages of love to people, because it means so much, especially when people have lost a loved one that they have been close to. So I'm hoping that if anybody sees this today, that if there's somebody that in your circle that has lost somebody that they love and that they're missing, I would hope that you just take a moment right where you are right now, pick up your phone, call them, send them a text message, send them something, and let them know that you're thinking of them and that you love them. That will mean so much to somebody who's lost somebody they love so much.
yeah, awesome. And just to go back, um, to what we were talking about in terms of sound and changing the dial and the frequency, right? There's a scripture in the Bible. It says, "Finally, my brothers, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are, are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things." So that goes to show you that you shift, you can change the sound, change the frequency, and change the vibration when you listen to all those things, those all the things that it says think on, right? those things are a part of love. When you think on those things, you shift your frequency, you shift the atmosphere, you change your environment, right? Just like Thais yesterday, when she walks in the morning, we were talking about when she walks in the office and she's saying, Happy Friday, happy Saturday, happy Monday, happy Tuesday, right? Sometimes people may not be feeling happy, but because she said it, right? Because she spoke it. And then all of a sudden, if you look at her physical presence and you see her smile, right, it may shift you and make you change the way you think. It's the same thing when you lose a loved one or you hear that somebody's lost a loved one. I tell you, there's something that's powerful when people lose loved ones. Is like social media, right, can be so impactful because as soon as somebody loses somebody and you see that it pop up and you go to Facebook and you look at it and all of a sudden you look at the comments, look at the comments, because everybody's responding, right, with love. They're saying, my condolences, rest in peace, man, I'm sorry for your loss, I'm praying for you, right, I'm praying for you, right? And then all of a sudden, you know what happens when people lose loved ones? Some people go into random acts of kindness. Next thing you know, flowers will start showing up at your door, fruit will start showing up, people will start showing up at your door with food and drinks, right? Because people are in a love and responsive mode. And that's what we want to be in when that's what we want to be in when we see people who are in harm's way, or people who have been harmed, or people who found themselves to be hurt, right? We want to come to their rescue. We want to bring some comfort into their life. And so yeah, that's powerful, because I know Aunt Joanne, I know that a lot of people, like my wife said, a lot of people starting to call her, you know, and a lot of people are going to go visit her. But the most important thing is consistency, right? Until you feel like that person is starting to, they will never be normal,
Yeah. Can I?
but they will
You
start to come into a place where they can be more comfortable with what has happened. And that
let
and
me.
that takes a while when you lose a loved one. You lose a mother, a father, uncle, a cousin, a son, a daughter, right? It never ends. And people gotta be sure, because love is an endurance word too, right? It takes endurance to love, right? Because some people just get on your nerves, right? You just like get mad at them and cut them off. They get on your nerves, but in spite of that, in spite of what people are saying, I still gotta love you, because love is about endurance, right?
So can
And
I?
and, and,
You
and
said
doesn't it
something.
say in the fruit?
Can you hear me, Los? Can you hear
Hold on
me?
a second.
Can you hear
Does it
me?
say in the fruit of the spirit? Doesn't say long suffering, right? I can hear you. I can hear you.
Sorry. Um, you said something that was important. You said, when you can go onto social media and what it does. I wanted to read a couple of things because it exemplifies what we've been talking about. Um, Somebody says, I don't even know where to start. This is such a monumental loss for his friends and family, and I dare say humanity. Larry always exemplified the very best traits of humankind: kind, genuinely caring, warm, engaging, witty, accepting of all people. He was always the very best of us, and we should always strive to be like him. I'm going to miss him terribly. And somebody else, writes, about how he was just, it's very sad. Larry was always so kind and positive. He was such a full laugh that was, he had such a full laugh that was contagious. You know, it's just, I will miss his eternal positive energy and always hopeful. And he always had a hopeful outlook on life. And so you want people to say, he said he always had a smile and that laugh was one of a kind. You know, to think about the things that people say. He was a wonderful man. He was about peace, you know? And so it's just really good to see. I said he was a super nice guy, always had a smile on his face. He was always singing. I remember him singing Ave Maria at a wedding. He was incredible. You know, those are the kind of things that when you begin to hear, right? We want to, when we have a loss, we think about, we're sad, but with Larry, you could think about things that were honest, things that are just, things that are pure, things that are lovely, things of good report, because with Larry, the glass was half full. And when he was angry or he was upset about something, you knew it, but it never lasted long. It never lasted long. He didn't hold it for, he just said, listen, I'm going to figure this thing out. We could bring him around. So, I'm grateful, being kind and being honest and being pure. You always said, like, what would your dash say? Would your dash say that you were kind? Would your dash say that you loved people, that you cared for people, that when people needed you, you were there for them? Is that what your dash says? Or does your dash say, no, they were only about themselves. They only cared about what they were doing. They only were, they were mean. Or, Dee Dee and I were talking on the phone this morning, and I said, sometimes the older people get, the more they think they can say whatever they want to say to people and can be unkind and be hurtful. And my prayer for me as I get older is, Lord, allow me to be kind forever. Like, I want to be kind when I'm 70. I want to be kind when I'm 80. I want to be kind when I'm 90. I want to be kind when I'm 100. I don't want to get to a place that because I get to a certain age, it gives me license to be mean or nasty or hurt somebody. And sometimes, as Dee Dee said, sometimes the older you get, the more you lose your filter. But I pray, God, keep my filter in place that allows me to be kind and loving, right up until the very end. I just want somebody to say, she was kind, she was loving. Because you know what? I'm grateful because that's what people are saying about my cousin, who was like my big little brother. He was older than me, but he was shorter than me. So he was my big little brother. He was the second Uncle Shorty in the family.
Right.
So,
It looks like did I freeze?
yeah, you did.
I
You
did freeze.
froze. Let's see if you unfreeze. Hold up. And so let's see if he unfreezes at this time. He is still frozen, but we are just grateful, for the times that we have.
You froze. You look like you froze too, but
We're both frozen. Well, I'm not frozen on my side, so let me see what it shows
am I frozen on your
on the
side?
screen. Your side is frozen, but I'm not. How about you want to? Did you have a video to show for today?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Check this out. The kindness in Target.
So what
You
I
want me
would
to
tell
go?
you
You
to
want me to go
do,
out and come back in?
yes, and I'll show the kindness and target. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
And a local mom says she was sleep deprived and running on empty. Does that sound familiar? When a stranger stepped in to help when she needed it most.
Well, now a photo from the chance meeting in a Pearland Target store has gone viral. Areka Mudaraj tracked down the mom and the woman she calls an angel.
No, don't throw the ball in the house.
Life at Rebecca Patterson's Pearland home is, well, chaotic.
No Jacobs to here. He's used to just being able to run in and out. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
She's mom to 2-month-old Aiden and 2-year-old Jacob. It took a little time for us to get settled. But we wanted to know the story behind her picture that's been shared online tens of thousands of times.
It was my first time out really with the both of them.
It was taken Monday night at the Target in Pearland.
The baby starts crying and Jacob starts crying harder.
But Rebecca says what was supposed to be a quick trip to the store started going downhill quickly. That's when she says a woman walked around the corner and offered to help.
Very calm, very sweet, tell she was kind.
The woman was a stranger. Rebecca calls her an angel. She goes by Tiffany Guillory.
I said, go ahead and do your grocery shopping, and I'll just hold Jacob and I'll talk to him. I picked him up, I put him in my arms, and I talked to him, with a soothing voice.
They walked around the store for 45 minutes, and as Rebecca checked out, she took this photo and shared it in a private Pearland Moms Facebook group to thank a stranger for her kindness.
And it really touched me because I know how it is. I've been there. I have, 2 kids, and It's frustrating, and that baby is 2 months, so you have hormones going, and people are looking at you crazy, and I just wanted to help. God sent me there to help her.
Tiffany says she's overwhelmed by the reaction.
Not only are you gorgeous, but beautiful inside too.
A small gesture Rebecca will never forget.
Kindness and understanding goes a long way, and I think it's true because I didn't feel judged. I had a helping hand, and I need it at the moment. So,
standing for Houston, Rekha Muttaraj, KHOU 11 News.
Oh, wow. Call her
so
the
sweet.
child whisperer.
It's the smallest gesture, right,
Yeah.
that made the biggest difference.
One random act of kindness at a time. That's how we change the world. And so I think about that as a mother myself. I've been in places where and as I have 4 children, so there have been times that I've needed help. And let me just tell you, my random act of kindness happened when I was a mother and Lowe's was working in Mount Vernon, New York, and we had 4 children. And actually, at the time, we had 3. And he was working in Mount Vernon, New York, and I was living in Troy, New York. And there were times when I was really struggling by myself, like trying to hold down 3 kids. I believe that Lozy would have been anywhere between a newborn, well, he was probably about 7 or 8 months up until he was a little over a year. And I was pretty much by myself with the 3 kids. But there were these 2 ladies. One of them is named and Dorothy Hills, and the other was Ruby Thomas. And when I tell you how much they took care of me and my kids, made sure that I had food every day. I would go and drop my kids off to the daycare or to school in the morning, and when I would come back in the afternoon, they made sure that I had food. They would make sure that food was on the table for me or whatever it took. And so, when I think about those random acts of kindness of what people do, I think about Dorothy Hiltz and I think about Ruby Thomas at Redemption Church, because I would come home and if I was really tired, Sister Hiltz would say, stay, you're not going, it's snowing, you stay right here tonight. And she would make make a place for me and my kids to sleep. And I always think about, I thought that Dorothy Hiltz and Ruby Thomas were some of the kindest people that I met when we were in Troy, New York. And Miss Sister Hiltz is has passed away, and God rest her soul. We love her kids, but she would do that kind of stuff for me. And Ruby Thomas is still here with us on this side of heaven, and she is just a person that if I could say thank you to her, I would just say how much I appreciated what she and Sister Hills did for my kids.
Awesome. Hey, I don't know what happened. I just kind of disappeared. We was playing around the other day about me disappearing, but I disappeared and went somewhere. I had to turn the computer off, come back on. But anyway, I wanted to dedicate this show, particularly we've been talking about loss, right? So for anybody that's lost somebody, I think people lose someone every single day, right? And so how we respond to that, and many people, I want to say, I want to commend every person, right, that whether you will know a person or not, or whether you're family or not, or your church member or not, man, I want to thank each and every one of you, man, when someone loses somebody and you just come to their comfort. Right, you just start praying for them, you just start showing kind acts. I'm hoping that Sister Barbara, when we're gonna have Sister Barbara on here, because you know we've lost some family members, and I'm saying Sister Barbara has just been great, right? And I want to say a shout out now. We In this case, a person wasn't lost, right? But Brenda Crump, right?
Ooh,
Anytime somebody gets sick, because she's big on organic health,
vegan, vegan
vegan,
health.
she's just good on health. And so anytime anybody in our family, I don't care what it is, a cold or something, man. If she finds out about it, man, she's gonna bring fruit, vegetables, soup, everything, man. Those are crazy, Sister Barbara and Sister Crump. Oh man, they are so amazing women. They, whenever somebody's in need and hurt, man, they just go all out to bring comfort to them, man. And it's random, and for them, it's no longer random. It's just kind acts
natural.
every day.
Yeah, it's who they are. It's who they are.
Just who they are right now. It's a habit, right? It becomes,
and we don't want that. We don't want it to be random acts of kindness. We want it to be a natural act of kindness. It becomes something that oozes out of your pores. That kindness, and when I think about Sister Barbara and Sister Brenda, that's who they are. Like that, it just like I got to the point for me that I would be like, Brenda, so and so has such and such. She's like, got you. Like it was like that. So but I'm grateful when I have. If you want to have friends, right? I think you got to first show yourself friendly.
That's right. Yeah.
You want to have kindness. You've got to show kindness, to others, and and I believe in that fully. So this has been such an exciting time. I'm glad that I was able to jump on with you just before church. I was able to set everything in place. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And check this out. I think the word you was looking for, right? We got 3 minutes left, but the thing you were looking for, or the word you were looking for, and what we're looking for at the end of this 29 days, what you're talking about? We're talking about a lifestyle change. That love becomes my lifestyle, right? The fruit of the Spirit and its attributes becomes our lifestyle. Kindness becomes our lifestyle. Goodness and gentleness becomes our lifestyle. Patience becomes our lifestyle, right? It just becomes a lifestyle, right? And it's what we do 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's powerful. If my wife doesn't have anything else to say, I'm looking forward to day 19. And
you forgot to say something today.
I forgot to say what?
I'm just gonna put it.
Challenge. This is a challenge. We're in a love challenge, So, and we're gonna end now. And when you see this, you probably is like, this came on earlier, but we are on earlier, and we're gonna click on that 12 o'clock and pause with us again, right? And then here's the final video on kindness. And we'll see you tomorrow at day 19. Thank you, babe.
A.D. Williams once said, "Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another." Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, "No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all." Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind, because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, in the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.